Let me ask you a simple question. Why is it that some women walk into a room quietly, yet everyone feels their presence, while others try very hard but still feel invisible? The difference is not beauty. It is not money. It is not education. The difference is inner strength, and inner strength is not built overnight. It is built through small daily habits, habits so simple that people often ignore them, yet so powerful that they transform lives. Today, let us talk about 10 small daily habits that make a woman truly strong. When you look at truly strong women, you will notice something very interesting. They are not always the loudest in the room, they are not always trying to prove something, and they are not constantly seeking approval. Their strength comes from a quiet place within. It is built slowly, patiently, through small choices they make every single day. Strength is not created in one dramatic moment. It is shaped in ordinary moments that are repeated with sincerity. A strong woman begins her day with awareness. Before the world starts demanding her attention, she takes a moment to center herself. She understands that how she starts her morning often decides how she responds to life. Instead of rushing with anxiety, she chooses intention. This simple habit gives her control over her emotions rather than allowing her emotions to control her. She is also careful about the way she speaks to herself. The mind listens to every word we say internally. If those words are harsh, the heart becomes weak. A strong woman replaces self-criticism with self-understanding. She knows her flaws, but she also knows her worth. She treats herself with the same kindness she offers to others, and this daily inner dialogue becomes the foundation of her confidence. One of her most powerful habits is keeping promises she makes to herself. Even small commitments matter. When she says she will rest, she rests. When she says she will grow, she takes one step forward. Over time, this builds trust within herself, and when you trust yourself, you walk through life with a different kind of assurance. She understands the value of calm. Life will always offer reasons to react, to argue, to prove a point. But she has learned that not everything deserves her energy. Choosing peace is not avoidance, it is maturity. Silence, when chosen wisely, becomes strength. She also respects her boundaries. She knows that saying no does not make her selfish. It makes her honest. By protecting her time and energy, she teaches the world how to treat her. This habit saves her from exhaustion and resentment. A strong woman listens to her body. She rests without guilt and takes care of herself without apology. She understands that her body is not meant to be punished, but cared for. Health becomes an act of gratitude, not pressure. Gratitude is another habit that shapes her strength. Even on difficult days, she finds something to appreciate. This does not mean she ignores pain. It means she does not allow pain to blind her. Gratitude softens the heart and sharpens perspective. She keeps learning not to impress others, but to evolve. Every experience becomes a lesson, every mistake a teacher. At the end of the day, she reflects rather than regrets. She lets go of what she cannot control and trusts that life is shaping her for something meaningful. And slowly, through these small daily habits, she becomes strong. Not the kind of strength that shouts, but the kind that endures. There is a common misunderstanding about strength. Many people think strength means never feeling tired, never feeling emotional, never falling. But real strength is very different. Real strength is the ability to stand up again with grace, to stay gentle in a harsh world, and to remain steady even when life feels uncertain. This kind of strength is not dramatic. It is developed quietly through daily habits that shape the mind and heart. A strong woman understands that life does not become easier, but she becomes wiser. She begins her day by grounding herself, reminding her mind that she does not have to control everything to be at peace. This small pause creates clarity. When clarity enters, anxiety reduces. When anxiety reduces, decisions improve. Slowly, this habit gives her emotional stability. She is mindful of her inner conversations. The way she talks to herself determines how she shows up in the world. Instead of replaying her failures, she reflects on her lessons. Instead of labeling herself as weak, she acknowledges her effort. This habit of self-respect builds confidence that does not depend on validation from others. Another quiet habit of a strong woman is consistency. She understands that motivation comes and goes, but discipline stays. Even on days when she does not feel inspired, she still takes small steps forward. Progress may be slow, but it is steady. Over time, these small efforts compound into powerful change. She has also learned the art of emotional balance. Not every thought needs attention, and not every emotion needs expression. She observes her feelings without letting them overpower her. This does not make her cold, it makes her composed. Calmness becomes her strength in situations where others lose control. A strong woman values her energy deeply. She does not feel guilty for setting limits. She knows that constantly giving without refilling leads to burnout. By choosing when to engage and when to step back, she preserves her peace. Boundaries become a form of self-care, not selfishness. She respects her body and listens to its needs. Rest is not laziness, it is restoration. Nourishing herself physically becomes a way of honoring life itself. When the body is cared for, the mind becomes clearer and the heart lighter. Gratitude plays a powerful role in her life. Even during challenging times, she finds moments to appreciate. Gratitude shifts her focus from what is lacking to what is already present. This simple habit keeps bitterness away and nurtures hope. She also remains a lifelong learner. Life teaches lessons through people, silence, success, and setbacks. She pays attention. Every day offers an opportunity to grow a little more patient, a little wiser, a little kinder. At night, she reflects instead of blaming herself. She releases the day, forgives her imperfections, and trusts the process of life. And through these small, repeated habits, she becomes strong in the truest sense, steady, graceful, and unshakable from within. Strength is often misunderstood as toughness, as the ability to push through without feeling pain. But true strength is far more subtle. It is the courage to feel deeply without breaking, to remain soft without becoming weak, and to stay rooted even when life feels uncertain. A strong woman does not become strong by accident. She becomes strong by intention, through small habits practiced with patience and faith. She understands that every day begins not outside, but inside. Before the noise of the world enters her mind, she takes a moment to connect with herself. This moment may be quiet, but it is powerful. It reminds her that she does not need to rush to prove anything. When the mind is calm, life feels less heavy. This daily grounding slowly transforms the way she handles challenges. A strong woman is aware of her inner voice. She knows that the mind can either become her greatest support or her biggest obstacle. Instead of replaying past mistakes, she learns from them. Instead of comparing her journey with others, she respects her own pace. This habit of self-compassion builds confidence that is stable, not fragile. She also values discipline more than motivation. Motivation depends on mood, but discipline depends on commitment. Even when she feels tired, she shows up for herself in small ways. She understands that growth does not require perfection, only consistency. These small actions, repeated daily, quietly reshape her life. Emotional maturity becomes one of her greatest strengths. She no longer reacts impulsively to every situation. She pauses, observes, and then responds. This pause saves her from regret and unnecessary conflict. She realizes that peace is not something to be demanded from others. It is something to be cultivated within. She respects her limits and honors her boundaries. Saying no does not make her cold, it makes her clear. She understands that protecting her energy allows her to give more meaningfully where it truly matters. This habit keeps her balanced and prevents emotional exhaustion. Her relationship with her body is gentle and respectful. She listens when it asks for rest and nourishment. She does not measure her worth by productivity alone. Taking care of herself becomes an act of gratitude rather than obligation. When the body feels supported, the mind feels safer. Gratitude becomes a quiet companion in her life. Even on difficult days, she looks for small blessings. Gratitude does not erase problems, but it gives her the strength to face them with grace. It reminds her that every phase of life carries a lesson. She remains open to learning, knowing that wisdom does not come only from success, but also from struggle. Each experience shapes her perspective. At the end of the day, she reflects with honesty, forgives herself with kindness, and trusts that life is unfolding as it should. Through these small daily habits, she becomes strong, not strong in a way that seeks attention, but strong in a way that endures. Calm, grounded, and quietly powerful. Many people believe that strength is something you are born with, but in reality, strength is something you practice. It is shaped slowly, day by day, through choices that may seem small but leave a deep impact over time. A strong woman is not someone who never struggles. She is someone who learns how to walk through struggle without losing herself. She understands that the quality of her life depends largely on the quality of her thoughts. That is why she begins her day with awareness rather than worry. Instead of immediately reacting to responsibilities and expectations, she gives herself a moment of stillness. This small pause helps her remember that she is not here to rush through life, but to live it consciously. When the mind is settled, even challenges feel manageable. She pays close attention to how she treats herself internally. She knows that repeated self-criticism weakens the spirit. Instead of being harsh, she chooses honesty with compassion. She accepts her imperfections while remaining committed to growth. This balance keeps her grounded and confident at the same time. A strong woman values consistency over intensity. She does not wait for the perfect mood to take care of herself or to improve her life. Even on ordinary days, she does something small that moves her forward. Over time, these small actions build momentum. Progress becomes natural, not forced. Emotional balance is one of her greatest qualities. She understands that reacting instantly often creates regret. By pausing before responding, she gains clarity. This habit protects her peace and strengthens her relationships. She realizes that calmness is not weakness, it is emotional intelligence. She respects her personal boundaries deeply. She understands that constantly pleasing others leads to inner emptiness. Saying no when necessary allows her to say yes with sincerity. By valuing her time and energy, she teaches others to do the same. This habit helps her stay centered instead of overwhelmed. Her relationship with her body is rooted in care rather than control. She listens to its needs and responds with kindness. Rest becomes part of her routine, not a reward. When she honors her body, she feels more present and balanced in daily life. Gratitude plays a quiet but powerful role in her strength. Even during difficult moments, she searches for meaning rather than bitterness. Gratitude reminds her that life is not only about what is going wrong, but also about what is still holding her together. This perspective gives her emotional resilience. She remains open to learning, knowing that every experience carries wisdom. Success teaches her confidence and setbacks teach her patience. She does not see mistakes as failures but as feedback. This mindset keeps her evolving rather than stuck. At the end of the day, she reflects instead of judging herself. She releases what she could not control and learns from what she can improve. With this gentle closing to her day, she rests with peace in her heart. And slowly, through these small daily habits, she becomes strong in a way that cannot be shaken. Quiet, steady, and deeply rooted within. Strength is not something that suddenly appears when life becomes difficult. Strength is something that is built long before the difficult days arrive. It is built in silence, in routine, in the way a woman chooses to treat herself when no one is watching. A strong woman understands that life will test her, but she also trusts that she can prepare herself through small, meaningful habits practiced every day. She knows that her mind needs direction before the world starts giving it distractions. So she begins her day with awareness rather than hurry. Even a few quiet moments help her remember that she does not have to win every battle or please everyone. This simple habit brings clarity, and clarity brings confidence. When the mind is calm, decisions become wiser. She is gentle but honest with herself. Instead of constantly judging her mistakes, she reflects on them. She understands that growth does not come from self-criticism, but from self-understanding. By speaking kindly to herself, she builds an inner environment where confidence can grow naturally. This inner support becomes her strength when external support is missing. A strong woman believes in showing up consistently. She does not wait for motivation to feel perfect. Some days she feels energetic, some days she feels tired, but she still takes small steps forward. She understands that consistency is more powerful than intensity. Over time, these small efforts create discipline, and discipline creates freedom. She learns the value of emotional balance. Not every thought deserves attention, and not every emotion needs action. By observing instead of reacting, she protects her peace. This pause gives her control over her responses and prevents unnecessary conflict. Calmness becomes her armor in stressful situations. She respects her boundaries deeply. She understands that saying yes to everything often means saying no to herself. When she sets limits, it is not out of anger, but out of self-respect. This habit allows her to give her best energy where it truly matters and keeps her from feeling drained or resentful. Her body is treated with care and gratitude. She listens when it needs rest and nourishment. She does not measure her worth by how much she can endure. Taking care of herself becomes a responsibility, not a luxury. When the body feels supported, the mind feels safer and more balanced. Gratitude quietly strengthens her heart. Even on challenging days, she finds something to appreciate. Gratitude does not deny pain, but it prevents bitterness from taking over. It reminds her that every phase of life carries both lessons and blessings. She remains open to learning. Life teaches her through people, experiences, and even silence. She accepts that she does not need to have all the answers today. This openness keeps her flexible instead of rigid, hopeful instead of fearful. At the end of the day, she reflects with honesty and rests with trust. She releases what she could not control and carries forward what she learned. Through these small daily habits, she becomes strong, not in a way that seeks attention, but in a way that remains steady, graceful, and unshaken from within. Remember this: a strong woman is not loud. She is not aggressive, she is not fearless, she is aware, she is balanced, she is consistent. And when a woman builds strength through small daily habits, she doesn't just change her life, she changes generations. So start small, stay consistent, and become the kind of strength the world cannot ignore.